I am making a dracotail Dragonmaid deck profile since I finally managed to get the rest of the dracotail cards I was needing. And I do like this build, but I have a feeling once I get the rest of the Shadal cards I need, which I think is just a small handful of cards that my locals might honestly have in bulk. But overall, I really do think it's a fun deck, and the only thing that probably needs a little bit of tweaking is the extra deck. But I tried to keep it with fusion monsters since I did notice that some of the cards either lock you into fusions for the rest of the turn or the whole turn. But starting off with the monsters, I play 3 copies of Dracotail Mululu. Mululu has the effect of, during your main phase, as a quick effect, you can fusion summon a Dracotail fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field's material. And then, when you use this effect, you're locked into fusion monsters for the rest of the turn. And this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion material. You can set a Dracotail spell or trap in your deck. Then you can negate the effect of one face-up monster your opponent controls. You can only activate each effect of Dracotail Mululu once per turn. Then next, I play 3 copies of Dracotail. I can't remember, it's Lucius. I can never remember if it's Lucius or Lucius. For some reason, I want to add an R. Anyway, Dracotail Lucius has the effect that if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Dracotail monster from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of itself. And then if it's sent to the graveyard as material for Dracotail or for fusion summon, you can set a Dracotail spell or trap from your deck. I'm pretty sure all the Dracotails have that effect of, when sent as a fusion material, set a spell or trap. Then next, I play 3 copies of Dracotail Femina. Femina has the effect of being able to discard itself as a quick effect during the main phase to fusion summon using monsters from your hand or field as material. And then, if it's into the graveyard as fusion material, yep. I'm pretty sure. And then next, I play 1 copy of Urgula. Urgula has the effect that if it's into the graveyard as fusion material, set a Dracotail spell or trap. Then you can destroy 1 spell or trap card on the field. And then after that, it has the effect of, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 spellcaster Dracotail monster in your graveyard. Place this card on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. You can use each effect of Urgula once per turn. And then lastly, I play 1 copy of Dracotail Pan. Pan has the effect that, let's see, if this card is sent to the graveyard as material, set a Dracotail spell or trap, then destroy 1 monster on the field. If a face-up fusion monster, or then you can destroy, so you can set, but you don't have to destroy anything. Anyway, it also has the effect that if a face-up fusion monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can place this card on the bottom of the deck. If you use it, special summon 1 non-Dracotail fusion monster from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Pan once per turn. For the Dragonmaid monsters, I play 3 copies of Parlor Dragonmaid. Parlor has the effect that if it's normal or special summoned, you can send a Dragonmaid from your deck to the graveyard, except for another copy of Parlor. And then, at the start of the battle phase, you can return to your hand special summon. You don't use that effect ever. Then I also play 1 copy of Chamber Dragonmaid. Chamber has the effect when summoned, you can add a Dragonmaid spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Then I play 1 copy of Lorepar. Lorepar is what you send to the graveyard off of Parlor, which is just so you can be able to use the fusion effect of Lady's Dragonmaid. Okay, she is first summoned by banishment. From grave. And then, because as Dracotail, you have a lot of monsters, which I play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. This is during your opponent's main phase as a quick effect. You can discard target effect monster your opponent controls, negates effects. Next, I play 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird, honestly, I might side and main 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. But for now, it's fine. Droll and Lockbird just makes so that as long as When during either player's turn, when your opponent adds a card to their hand, except by drawing it during the draw phase, you can then use Drill Mockbird to make it till the end of the turn. Neither player can add cards from the deck to their hand. Then I play 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. When your opponent activates a monster effect on field or the effect of a spell or trap card that was already face up on the field, you can discard Ogre to destroy that card. Next, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This just negates anything that moves a card from deck, whether it's adds from deck to hand, summons from deck, or sends from deck to grave. And then lastly, I play 3 copies of Moltarmi Fualos. Fualos can only be activated while you control no cards, but you can use up to 2 Moltarmi effects per turn. And then Fualos lets you make so when your opponent summons from deck or extra deck, you get to draw a card. And then during your opponent's end phase, if you have more cards in your hand than your opponent does, plus 6, you shuffle the difference back into the deck. So if your opponent ends their turn, they have 3 cards, but you have 12, you have to randomly shuffle 3 cards from your hand back into the deck. For the spells, I play 1 copy of Dragonmaid Changeover. Changeover just lets you fusion summon a dragon fusion monster. Let's see, forget the rest of it outside of that. And then while this card is in your graveyard, you can target a Dragonmaid monster you control, add this card to the hand, and return that monster to the hand. Which probably, I honestly never use the grave effect of it, it's kind of only there in case I need it. Next, I play 3 copies of Ketu Dragontail, or Dracotail. Ketu Dracotail has the effect that you can add a Dracotail from your deck to your hand. Then if your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon a fusion or spellcaster monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. You can only activate 1 Ketu Dracotail per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of Branded Fusion, Rahu Dracotail. Rahu Dracotail lets you fusion summon a Dracotail monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand, deck, or field. Also, for the rest of the turn after it resolves, you can't special summon from the extra deck except for fusion monsters, which it's basically a branded fusion, which is why I did the thing earlier. But oh well. And for the traps, I play 1 copy of Dragonmaid Tidying, 1 Dracotail Horn, and 1 Dracotail Flame. I kind of want to bump these up to 2 each, just because I actually do like their effects. Where Horn, they both do the same thing, where you target a card on the field. I guess they don't do the same thing. Flame lets you target a face-up spell your opponent controls, negates effects, and then you get to draw a card. And then... Okay, got it wrong. You target a face-up spell on your opponent's field, negates effects. Then you can place a Dracotail monster from your graveyard or bench on the bottom of the deck, except for another copy of Dracotail Flame. Then draw 1 card. That's what it was. And then Dracotail Horn lets you target an attack monster on the field, return it to the hand. Then you can place a card back and then draw 1 card. Tidying lets you target a dragon monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls, return them to... Or target a monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard, return those targets to the hand. And then... That's it, honestly. And that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Lady's Dragonmaid. Lady's Dragonmaid has the effect where you special summon it by banishing 2 Dragonmaids. 1 that's level 4 lower, 1 that's level... What was it? I can't remember. Okay, no, you banish 2 Dragonmaid monsters with the same attribute but different levels. So you summon Parlor sends Lore Party, you banish them both, because it has to be 1 on field and 1 in graveyard. Summon this. And then when it's summoned, it lets you summon a level 4 lower Dragonmaid from your deck, which is usually going to be a copy of Chamber Dragonmaid. The Lady's Dragonmaid has the effect that during the standby phase, you can, or during, it's either the standby phase or your opponent's standby phase. I can't actually remember. See, during the standby phase, you can fusion summon a dragon fusion monster by returning the materials from your, what was it? Hand, field, or grave? There's some. Let's see where it is. Shuffling the materials from your field or banish back into the deck. Next, I play 2 copies of House Dragonmaid. House Dragonmaid has the effect that I can't remember honestly because I've never used its effect. But once per turn, during the standby phase, you can target one other Dragonmaid monster you control. Special on Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position whose level is 1 higher or lower than it. While another face-up dragon monster you control it returns to the hand, not while when. Then you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And then I play 2 copies of Dragonmaid Shao. Dragonmaid Shao makes a during the standby phase. I don't actually remember its standby phase effect. Which is during the standby phase, you can special summon a level 9 or lower Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. When your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you negate the activation to destroy that card. Also, return this card to the extra deck to special summon 1 House Dragonmaid from your extra deck. And then it might as well be an honorary Dragonmaid. I play 1 copy of Regis or Philia Regis. Regis has the effect during the main phase. You can target 1 card your opponent controls or in their graveyard and banish it. Then, if you banished a card on the field, return a dragon monster you control to the hand. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, if this card is in your graveyard, turn a dragon monster you control to the hand or extra deck. And if you use special summon this card, and you can use each effect once per turn. And then for 2 monsters that I feel like work really well in dracotail is 1 copy of Mysterion the Dragon Crown. Mysterion the Dragon Crown just and the next monster both have effects that unfortunately have weakened them. Let's see. I can't remember what exactly. It can't be as a fusion material. This card loses 100 attack for each of your banished cards. If a monster uses its activated effect to summon itself or a monster with the same original type, except during the damage step, you can target one of those special summon monsters, banish that monster. Also banish all monsters on the field with the same original type. Like, I actually played a game with it when I was testing the deck, where I summoned this, not knowing my opponent was playing Cyber Dragon. And I just waited a little while. They summoned Nova without knowing what this card does. Activated Cyber Dragon Nova's effect. 2 special summon Cyber Dragon. And they kind of just lost their entire board because everything they had was machine. It's actually kind of funny. And then next, I also play 1 copy of Secretarian Dragon. Secretarian Dragon loses 100 attack and defense for each of your banished cards, I believe. And then while you control this fusion summon monster, your opponent cannot activate the effects of dragon or spellcaster monsters they control. As I believe it's they control. Yes, and then once per turn, you can target a dragon and a spellcaster in your graveyard. Summon one and return the other to the deck. So I just like using this card in the deck because of how it does actually let you just be able to keep recycling your materials. And then next, I play 3 copies of Dracotail Golomel. Dracotail Golomel has the effect of... Oh boy, I misplaced it. Here it is. Golomel has the effect of when you activate a Dracotail card or effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. If 2 or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time while this card's in your graveyard, you can special on this card, but banish it and lose the field. You will use each effect of Golomel once per turn. And then lastly, for the extra deck, I play 3 copies of Dracotail Arthalion. Arthalion has the effect that if this card is fusion summoned, you can target cards, or you can target monsters on the field and or graveyard up to the number of materials that are used for its summoning, which it requires a Dracotail monster plus 1 or more monsters in the hand. And then you return, and then And you return those targets to the hand. And then, if 2 or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it and leaves the field. And then that is it for my Dracotail Dragonmaid deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas for decks like to see be made in the future, or decks like to see, I forgot. Or if you just have any ideas for to improve the deck, please comment down below. I always read the comments. And if you're still watching, thank you for watching.